Dark greetings.
And a very imperial welcome.
To all remaining systems. I'm Michael.
And I hate myself. I'm Matthew.
Alright, so now we're going to do our opening skit before we get into our discussion of Zorba the Hutt's revenge. So Matt, why don't you draw a name out of your hat, and I will draw an action out of my hat, and together we will formulate some silly story to connect the two.
Got Commander Cody.
And what is his action? He falls in love with Padme.
Oh no! Ooh, spicy.
Alright, so...
It's all Obi-Wan's fault.
I hate the friend zone! Alright, so... Let's see, when could this reasonably have taken place? Because... Were Cody and Rex together in the 501st, or were they in separate units?
They were in separate units. Commander Cody his unit was predominantly under the command of General Kenobi.
Right. So
he is a bold one. And Rex was part of the 501st, which was part of Anakin's division.
So under what circumstances would Padme and Cody have crossed, or would he have like fallen in love with her from a distance? Because she is a senator. She's
right. Well,
got some fame.
I mean, if you think about it, Obi-Wan and Anakin have done quite a lot of joint operations since they are Master and Padawan.
Mm-hmm.
And
the reason I asked you that was because I remember there were several episodes of the Clone Wars where Cody and Rex are working together.
Yes. Yes.
The one where the clone base gets attacked.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember the episode. It was a season 1 episode.
What was that?
Okay, now go ahead.
Shinies?
Rookies. It was
Rookies. That's right, Rookies. Also known as Shinies. Yeah. But yeah, the episode was Rookies, where the commando droids came in.
Yeah. So what? Does he fall in love with her from afar, or from more personal interaction?
I guess just from, hearing tales of what she's done through the other clones.
I'll tell you what it probably was.
Because a lot of clones, admired her.
A lot of clones probably admired Anakin as well. And Anakin, who's pretty much a loudmouth, probably has told Rex many adventures he's had with Padme. Hey, remember that time me and Padme went to Batu when we met that weird Chiss dude? That happened. And Rex passed that along to Cody, and Cody was like, wow, Padme, she's such a strong, fierce woman. I would love to have a woman like that.
I would love to make more clones with her.
And then Darman. Anyway, so that's a Republic Commando reference for those of you who care. So here's what I'm thinking. So
our comments get sadder and sadder on this thing.
So I'll bet you Obi-Wan also told Cody many stories. He was like, "Oh yeah, I was once in love with a woman who was a leader of a great planet. She was great with pacifism. She was all about that, not fighting."
Man, the Jedi are very open with their clones.
Well, they have no reason not to be.
Yeah, fair enough. I mean,
so and he's telling him all this. He's like, "Oh yeah, she was the leader of a planet. She was super peaceful." He's talking about Satine, of course, but Cody is like, he's talking about Padme. He's in love with Padme. I see this. This is a thing that's going on. And then on that fateful day on Utapau, when Supreme Chancellor Palpatine contacted him and said, "Commander Cody, the time has come. Execute Order 66.
And now he's like, "Oh boy, now I have an excuse."
Yeah.
And he fires the cannon.
It's not friendly fire when your boss tells you to. So he's like, "Finally, when I get back to Coruscant, all will be well, and then we can I can profess my love to Padme, and I'll come back a war hero, and she will love me when she finds out the Jedi were traitors." But she was dead.
Or he comes back and then sorry, they're not here at the moment. Where's God? Or where is Padme God? And it's like, oh, she went to Mustafar. He's like, why? And she's like, I don't know, something about Anakin doing stuff. He's like, Anakin! He gets all mad. And then
I thought you were gonna say he was like,
He's
"Where
like-
is she?" And they just like point to like the funeral procession down on the ground.
then he's like, well, he's a Jedi too. I'm gonna go snuff him out. So then it would just be her and I. Then he learns that Anakin has died and that Vader has become new. He's like, oh boy, yeah, this Vader guy is gonna be like my best friend. He's like, and then he finally hears that Padme's finally back after her visit from
Paulus Massa.
From Paulus Massa. He's like, oh boy, now we can be together. And she's dead.
This is a very sad tale for Commander Cody. I mean,
And then he
it's
goes
not
on
like
to
he
train
doesn't deserve
stormtrooper
it.
divisions.
Yeah. What happens to Commander Cody in canon? Do we know?
I think he trains stormtrooper divisions and slowly gets phased out. I think.
Probably.
I don't know.
I know Rex fakes his own death.
Yeah. And then and then Cody like
Cody's like, I need to talk to Rex, and Rex is dead.
He starts pouting, and Vader's like walking by, and then he's like straightening up, and he's like, "Sorry, sir, you're just experiencing great loss of a loved one." And then Vader's like, "I know that pain all too well." And then
And they both side hug and shed a single tear.
and both drop little lockets that Padme.
And scene. Oh boy, howdy! That sure was something. But now,
Very
Matt,
spicy.
we've got something. Would you say it's more or less comprehensible to talk about?
This one definitely has a lot of hoopla in it.
So we're continuing our coverage of the Jedi Prince books today with Zorba the Hutt's Revenge.
It gets crazier.
This may be my favorite of the books so far. I haven't reread Queen of the Empire yet, so that may overtake it. But at present time, having read 4 of the 6 books, Zorba the Hutt's Revenge is at the top for me. I mean, how can you not love it? You got Jabba the Hutt's dad, who is a Hutt with dreadlocks and a beard.
He looks like Blackbeard, but
He
like
does. Blackbeard the Hutt.
yeah. And
That
the
sounds
barge,
awesome.
and the
I'm gonna
barge,
write that down.
Yeah, and like the barge would be like a pirate ship.
I'm going to use that in Edge of the Empire. So, let's see. Let's start our coverage of this book.
We should start it with the housewarming gifts of flat screen TVs to Han's Skyhouse.
Well, first of all, actually, in the prologue, we find out that Zorba the Hutt, who is Jabba's father, is going to visit his son in his palace because he doesn't know he's dead, on his ship called the Zorba Express.
That's right, folks. This is a holiday tale.
So we get to Chapter 1, The Droid Fest of Tatooine. So,
I think they're just reaching for holidays in the Star Wars universe. There's so much just dread and misery. They just really want holidays.
because Life Day was ruined by existing, so you gotta have something, like the Droid Fest. So, Luke Skywalker and Ken, the Jedi Prince, too. We still don't know what that means. We don't know what a Jedi Prince is. I'll tell you what, I'm on book. I just finished book 4 today. I still don't know what a Jedi Prince is. It's only, the titular.
Prince of the Jedi. Soon he will be the Jedi King.
It's only the titular title.
Have
for
you ever
this
seen
whole
Lion
series.
King?
I have seen. Have you seen the trailer for the live-action Lion King?
Yeah,
What do you think?
not bad. I mean, it's the same story.
It's just some of the same voice actors too.
Yeah.
James Earl Jones. We tied it back to Star Wars. There we go.
Yeah, boom, there we go. We don't get off track. So Detective Pikachu.
Looks surprisingly good.
I'm excited. Okay.
I'm just trying to. Oh no, I pulled up the wrong notes. I pulled up my notes for Mission from Mount Yoda. Hold on.
See, I like to date our podcasts really badly.
Oh yeah, so Han Solo's having a housewarming party. We're finding out because of course he would. Because we can't have enough of Han Solo's skyhouse. We now have to have his housewarming party.
This scoundrel of a man having a housewarming party. See, I'm imagining like people like coming in. It's like, hey, remember me? I was the extra you bumped shoulders with on Hoth. Here's a plant.
So Luke and Ken are trying to figure out what to get him for his housewarming party, and they're thinking like a holo projector. So they're basically like, should we get him a TV? Is that too much? Like, so they decide to go get him a housekeeping droid. Which, that makes sense. Get him a Roomba.
Yeah, but no, they get him... They get him the gender-bent C-3PO. Because droids make practical gifts, which, yeah.
Okay, so...
But that's questionable to me, a practical gift. Because a practical gift to me is like, you know...
A wrench.
Well, a wrench, a hammer, a house plant, like something small, something that costs maybe $20 to $30 at most. How much do droids cost?
So, it's funny that you mentioned that exact quote, because Chip says that. Droids make very practical gifts. And the very next page, he gets offended because Ken says just a robot. And he's like, just a robot? After all we've done for you, Ken. It's just like, dude, you just said that you were, like, valuable, like, commodities. You can't say droids make very practical gifts and then be offended because someone called you just a robot. So they determine that Tatooine has the best selection of droids.
Well, that's questionable.
I definitely question that. Again, like we said in our episode on the Glove of Darth Vader, they're clearly
Tatooine is just a junkyard.
They're mostly limiting themselves to original trilogy planets.
Mm-hmm.
Very rarely are we going.
We get one new planet in here where the Hutts are. Well, it's not new, but
it's name dropped.
Yeah, it's name dropped.
But I don't know. In the series so far, from what I've read, they've visited 2 planets that weren't from the movies because they went to Mon Calamari, and then in Mission from Mount Yoda, they go to Duro. But anyway, so apparently Tatooine's Droid Fest is the best in the galaxy.
Droid Fest is the best in the galaxy. Droid Fest is the best in interplanetary. See, I made it work. So come on by. Enjoy the drive.
And watch out for the sand people.
Because they will murder you. Bop.
The jungle wastes are not to be traveled lightly. Ding! So they got into the Y-Wing landing bay, very specific landing bay that apparently exists on Tatooine.
Why?
I know.
Why do you need
a Y-Wing specific one?
Yeah, like Starfighter. That would be fine. Or a small port. But Y-Wing? Why are they so rebel friendly?
So Ken asks who lives in Jabba's palace. And Luke says it's vacant. Because after Jabba died, the government of Tatooine took possession, and then they turned it into a retirement home. But they didn't have enough money in the budget to keep it open. This is a real Star Wars book, and we're only on page 5.
The government of Tatooine.
Does Tatooine have a government?
No, that's why it was Tatooine. Like, it's ran by the Hutts. And when the Hutts died, then, you know, it was just...
Do you know the reason why the Empire let the Hutts, like, exist despite their criminal empire?
Because they didn't want to mess with it.
Mm-mm.
What?
The Hutts paid their taxes.
Oh, okay, cool.
The Hutts' taxes were such, like, a huge portion of the Empire's income that they couldn't mess with that. I don't know. I thought that was funny. Anyway, that's not a part of this book.
Yeah, because that sounds too sound.
So then... But
this book's great.
Apparently Jabba also owned Holiday Towers Hotel and Casino in Cloud City. Because for some reason Ken knows about which properties Jabba the Hutt owned. They taught that in Jedi school.
Well, of course, every Jedi needs to know the praxis of... I don't know.
Hey, Matt, do you like acronyms?
Boy, do I.
Then, boy howdy, this book must appeal to your fetish, because... We've got more acronyms.
I wouldn't say it's a fetish, but yeah, sure, we'll call it that. Let's appeal to my fetishes, shall we?
More acronyms, please. So,
boy howdy, spank me with those acronyms.
So first of all, we get JDTs, which is Jawa Droid Traders. I don't know why you needed to make that an acronym.
Everyone knows the Jawas trade droids, so just say Jawas.
And then we get HSDs, which are Housekeeping Specialist Droids. Why do we need so many acronyms?
I think he was on a word count limit.
But no, because they have to explain what the acronyms are. So is he trying to extend it even more? Is that what he's doing?
No, because he explains it and then
we shouldn't say he. This could have been Hollis Davids as well as Paul Davids.
Okay. Whoever decided to do that just...
Maybe it's
obviously...
Maybe they have a hive mind. We don't know.
Obviously, they wanted the kids to go around the playground playing Star Wars with all these acronyms, and it would be like a cool little club that only they know the acronyms. And then, like, once people find out what it is, they'd be like, oh, they're even lamer than we thought.
So they find a female droid named KT-18, but she goes by the name Kate. And my immediate question is, why not Katie? It's literally your name. Why would you go Kate and not Katie?
Because Kate is more professional.
Oh, okay.
She is a proud, strong, independent, soon not to be independent, work droid.
So then...
Oh, and then there's sexism.
Yeah, we find out C-3PO is a huge sexist. At first, back when we read The Glove of Darth Vader, I applauded Paul and Hollis Davids for writing C-3PO very well, but now I retract that statement. Allow me to read a brief excerpt from this book. Excellent microcircuits, Creepio declared. Superb mobility, too. It's rare to find a female droid who's been manufactured with such quality.
Maybe C-3PO is gay. Either that or he's falling in love.
That doesn't give him the right to be a dick, though.
But C-3PO kind of is, though. Think about the way he treats his friends. His friends, I say in quotation marks.
That's true.
He's kind of forced upon everybody. If
Okay.
he had it his way, he'd just stay in one area.
He wanted to surrender to the Empire in Empire Strikes Back.
Mm-hmm.
So it bothers me that banthas are described as elephant-like, because that brings up the question, are there elephants in Star Wars? So real animals we have in Star Wars. Ducks. Elephants, apparently.
Horses.
Fathiers, but
Fish.
there's always a bigger fish.
No, there's actual straight-up horses. There's statues of horses on Naboo.
Are they really?
Yeah, they're just in there.
It's always Naboo. First ducks, now horses, now fish, Gungans.
They have frogs and spiders.
Yeah.
Because spider droids, so they have spiders. Snakes.
And there were those spider things in Rebels.
Yeah, but those things were like...
Space whales.
Wolves.
Wolves, duh, yeah.
Wolves.
I should have thought of that earlier. The Lothwolves. Lothwolfenstein.
Wait.
That's one of our best podcast names we ever came up with.
Loath cats.
Yeah, Loath Cats. Okay, I think that's it for Chapter 1. So now we're finally on to Chapter 2. The Return of Zorba.
Roomba the Hutt.
Within 2 paragraphs, we find out that Zorba is only bathed once a month.
Mm-hmm. Also, it's describing his food as very fatty, greasy. Which, to me, I was like, oh, it was actually cooked? Because from what I seen...
Jabba just ate the frog
Yeah,
raw.
he just ate the frog. He just...
Let's see. So Zorba's demanding to the Libal droid. He's like, I am the father of Jabba. Let me in. And he's like, hey, Jabba don't live here no more.
Yeah, and the eyeball can talk.
Well, it talked. Well, was it the eyeball that talked, or someone behind the door that talked?
See, that's my thing. Is the door itself a sentient droid, or does he just live his life as the palace door?
Does the door have its own consciousness?
Does he have goals? Dreams?
Do they have to wipe the memory of the door every so often to keep it from achieving a personality?
You know, the more I think about the Star Wars universe, is just more and more like upkeep. Like you have to like
Give your droids oil baths, wipe
Give
their
your
memory.
door therapy. like, like there's so much work. And then everyone has to be like a skilled technician if you want to go from point A to point B. If you want a job, you have to travel half across the galaxy.
So we find out, or they name drop Varl, which is the original Hutt homeworld, which I actually looked this up because I thought, this was just something that was retconned. But apparently, Varl was the original homeworld of the Hutts. It wasn't now Hutta. It doesn't make sense that Zorba was born there then, but hey, at least, good on you, Pablo Hidalgo. You tried. You can't... they tried the best they could to make the Jedi Prince series
How
fit.
old is Zorba?
Well, okay. In the Clone Wars movie, Rada is about like 50. Jabba's several hundred years old. So Zorba must be up there in the hundreds, probably closer to the thousands.
Whatever happened to Rada?
I've been wondering that myself. Do you think maybe one day we'll get Rada the Hutt's revenge?
Oh boy.
If we get Rada the Hutt's revenge, I will pre-order it. I will buy it. I will read it all day one. That's a promise. So he goes to the bar to figure out, hey, what happened
As
to
most
Jabba?
people do.
And,
I just for my problems.
oh. And he sees a poster that says that the Jedi Prince named Ken is wanted by Emperor Trioculus. And I believe this is the first time he's ever referred to officially as Emperor Trioculus.
So my thing is this: if he has the authority to like put those kind of things out, why didn't he put a thing for like Luke Skywalker
Or anyone in the Rebel Alliance.
or Princess Leia, Admiral Akbar, Mon Mothma?
Jimmy Smits. Oh wait, he's dead. So Grand Moff Hissa is just chilling at this bar entirely by coincidence. For some reason, the Grand Moff is just in a bar on Tatooine. And
Why would a Grand Moff even be on Tatooine?
I think it's implied he was putting up the posters. But why have
Why
a
would
Grand Moff?
do that? That's like stormtrooper level stuff. It's not even that's like cadet level stuff.
So he's talking. Hissa's talking with the Twi'lek, and the Twi'lek starts throwing out his terrible Star Wars fan theories, because he's like, "Oh, Ken, does he get that name from Kenobi? Is he a relative of Obi-Wan?" See, it's just like all the terrible fan.
Okay,
theories
hold up.
that
How
come
do
up.
people? How would they even know? Like, okay,
Why would they know Obi-Wan? I can understand knowing the name Ben Kenobi, but even then, why would you make that connection? It's not like it was...
Obi-Wan wasn't in the Siege of Ryloth, was he?
I did not watch that arc of Clone Wars, so I do not know.
Actually, let's see, because there was Ahsoka, and
I want to say he was, but
well, I mean, because I'm just making the connection with the Twi'lek. Because I mean, Obi-Wan wasn't very popular. I mean, he was popular, but not very popular.
Clearly, you haven't gone on our prequel memes.
Well, no, I meant like to the public.
No, I know.
Because
I know.
Anakin Skywalker was the poster child.
Wasn't
And I mean, if you
It
collected,
was mostly okay. So
if you collected the Anakin trading cards, then you probably would have heard about his master.
I feel like Anakin was liked by the public, disliked by his coworkers and superiors.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe some of the clones liked him, but like Yularen hated him. And I feel like Obi-Wan would have been the opposite of that. I feel like Obi-Wan would have been reclusive to the public. He wouldn't...
See, and that's why my thing. Like, how would the public know of his name?
Yeah. But I think it's supposed to be implied that he knows it because of, being on Tatooine, but they didn't, refer to him as Obi-Wan.
Unless
on
Luke
Tatooine.
released his biography.
He put him in the obituary.
How I destroyed the Empire, and he has a picture, and then all the Rebel Alliance is like, oh, okay, yeah, he just did all the okay, whatever.
I also think it's really funny that the wanted poster for Ken says generous reward and doesn't have any specific value listed.
It's just generous.
But if a bounty hunter saw that, how do they know generous isn't 1,000 credits? I don't know. I feel like they should have been more specific. By the way, why does Zorba the Hutt have hair and a beard?
Yes. Also, you think it's greasy?
Oh, I have no doubt it is. It's just clumps. So
also, aren't they supposed to be like asexual?
it's not that they're asexual. I think it's that they can change genders.
Okay, so is he also Mama Zorba?
I think he can be, like, when he gives birth. I think that's been retconned, though. I think that was only Legends. I think in canon...
So where's his wife?
It was the Sarlacc pit.
Oh. So Jabba's just being a good son and feeding his mama.
Or maybe she's on Nal Hutta, like
Knitting.
Zero's mom. So anyway, he's informed by Hissa that that Jabba's dead, and Zorba hires like everyone in the bar to go raid Jabba's palace because it's being inhabited by Ranats. And so this one specific guy named Tibor brings his portable anti-orbital ion cannon.
Well, yeah, it's just hooked up to the back of his truck, don't you know?
But okay, ion cannon.
Mm-hmm.
That's meant to destroy electronics, droid-like stuff, right?
Yeah, take out ships or the control function. So yeah,
Right. I can believe that.
Yeah.
Portable. Also, I can believe that. You know, maybe it's like a turret, like, you know, like on the Battle of Hoth, there was stormtroopers who brought those
but like, yeah, okay.
Now is the part I bring into question, is the part of it that's anti-orbital. You're breaking down a door, first of all. Second of all, if it's anti-orbital, I don't think that really applies to portable.
See, I know ion cannons in Star Wars, like the disc turrets. Those were ion, and yes, those could be broken down. You know,
Yeah.
portable. But to go
Anti-orbital? It had to be the big,
no,
big
what is
hawk
this
cannon.
suggesting here? Anti-orbital. Is this suggesting that this thing can shoot down ships that are in orbit? Is that what I'm supposed to believe here?
That's what anti-orbital should imply.
So they just took the giant ball from Hoth, and he just had that hooked up to the back of his El Camino out back.
Okay, so they raid the place, and Zorba finds another acronym. A droid with the file JTHW.
Jabba the Hutt's will.
Spoiler alert.
Yay. Yeah, so after clearing out a big nest of Master Splinters,
We get to Chapter 3. Han Solo's housewarming party.
there's a lot of build-up for nothing here.
Yeah. So Luke gets attacked by some bounty hunters, I think, or something. But first he goes to rent a land speeder, and deals with the Tatooine Planetary Insurance Company, which I'm shocked is not made into the TPIC.
They lost their opportunity.
So then Ponda Baba and Bib Fortuna attack Luke. Or I guess it's just the Twi'lek and an Aqualish. But
Walk into
a bar.
Skywalker.
Okay, whose lightsaber is that in Luke's hands? That is not.
That
Luke's
is not
lightsaber.
Luke's. No, I think he grabbed Ken's because he's
That's
the
an
Jedi
off-brand
Prince.
lightsaber.
That's a laser sword.
So some stuff happens. Doesn't really matter. Luke survives the encounter. So they go to Bespin. Oh yeah, we get our environmental rather message of the book, which is pollution.
Pollution is bad.
Hidden through the idea of braze, which is, it's not an acronym, but it is a shortening of the phrase brown haze, which you could have just called it haze. Didn't really need to specify the color. Doesn't matter all that much.
Or you could just call it smog.
Yeah. Also, this isn't
What are they trying to say? Factories are bad?
I think it's just saying in general pollution is bad. Protect the environment, kiddos. So this isn't a particular problem with this book per se, but it's a problem that I have with general Star Wars things, which is I thought Cloud City was meant to be a mining colony, but yet it's like a big like luxury resort, and that's not just in this story. That happens in a bunch of other Star Wars stuff. I don't know. It's weird. It bothers me. Do you have anything
A lot
to say?
of mining places have big resorts, I've noticed.
On Earth or in Star Wars?
No, in Star Wars.
Such as?
Like, what was that one place? Arcania?
Yeah.
Yeah. They've got, like, it's like nothing but a wasteland, but yet they have, like, these high, like, casinos and stuff. Also, what about that one casino? Was
Canto Bight?
Yeah, Canto Bight. What'd they do?
Canto Bight was mostly a desert planet. It was, or Cantonica rather. Canto Bight was like just the one like casino city.
And they all made their money by selling like weapons and stuff.
Yeah.
To both sides, but what was their main thing besides the casino?
Well, there were multiple casinos apparently.
But what was their main export? What made the planet decent?
I don't think there was a main export.
See, that's
horses.
No.
Child slaves.
I mean, it would make sense.
Probably slaves, honestly. Slave trade,
yeah. See, I mean, these terrible places like this have casinos in rich, luxurious areas. I think they're getting at a deep thing here.
Okay, so they meet up with Lando, and Lando's talking about
Geonosis. Geonosis sucks all around.
Yeah, Geonosis ain't great, except in Battlefront 2. But so
pro-human.
They're asking what causes the braze, and Lando's like, "Oh, it's Trioculus because he's got a factory barge." Now I don't know why the Rebel Alliance hasn't just blown it up. If they know where it is, it's not that well guarded. I can't imagine it's that large.
And you know what bothers me? Not just with this, but like with a lot of Star Wars things. I mean, orbital bombardment is a thing.
Yeah, Thrawn understood that, and the only reason he stopped was because Tarkin told him to take prisoners.
Yeah, because if you want to take prisoners or get valuable information or whatever, why don't you just use orbital bombardment all the time?
Well, that's why you don't, because it'll just destroy them.
Right. So if you don't need anything, if your mission is just to destroy it, just using it. Yeah. Why don't they just go to light speed?
So Lando, I want to read exactly what Lando says when he says he finds out. Okay, they were mass producing ion cannons. That's what's causing the braze in the factory. Lando sighed.
Man, they love Lando. They really like ion cannons, don't they?
Yeah, that's kind of a running thing in this book. Okay, Lando sighed. I sent him 2 messages asking him politely to please shut down and go away. Lando, ever the diplomat. So, I wanted to point that out because that was funny. So they go into a cloud car convertible.
Mm-hmm.
Because apparently convertibles exist in Star Wars and apply to cloud cars.
Here's the thing. I won't knock the convertible. I won't knock the convertible cloud car either. Because to me, I think every vehicle except for spaceships should be convertibles.
Yeah, spaceships.
But the thing is, with cloud cars, I don't know why you'd want it to be a convertible. Because if you've ever been in an airplane or...
I feel like you'll get sucked out real quick.
Oh, because there are open cockpit airplanes, like biplanes. But it's really cold. So to me, that's not a luxurious thing.
You got the braze to keep you warm. What's the climate like on Cloud City?
I have no idea.
I've never thought about that.
And it says it has like a really hot metal core. Liquid metal core.
Because like every other planet in the original trilogy, I can imagine what the climate's like. I'm not sure about Bespin.
And I think this is like the one time we ever get someone's idea on what the core is like of Bespin.
Yeah.
It's a hot metal core.
Then how did Luke's hand survive?
Because this is a cannon, that's why.
So Lando also says a greasy little Rhodian alien has a new system for cheating at the card game of Sabacc. And wow, way to be even more racist than we are toward Rhodians.
Hey, Rhodians are terrible.
I mean, I won't argue. Pro-human.
Pro-human. I would never shake hands with a Rhodian. A, because they're subhuman, or they're not even close to human. And second, their hands freak me out. Little suction cup things. You can't do business with
those. They also have
those.
terrible aim. They may slap you in the face.
Yeah.
So anyway. So we get to Han Solo's housewarming party. And boy howdy, this is just a gold mine of potential memes. Because, first of all, Leia's sitting on a giant floating pillow, which, like we said before, giant floating things wouldn't be very comfortable to me. Admiral Akbar is there, and he can't shut up about military strategy. Han is cooking on his nanowave stove. Han teaches Leia how to dance the space pirate boogie.
That one got me. And then the alder.
No. He tries to teach her. Where is it?
He has the band play something.
Han asks the band. I found it. Han asks the band to play "Sweet Lady from Alderaan." But it makes Leia cry because she starts thinking about Alderaan and how the Empire blew it up.
What a bad move on Han. Like, he should have known.
But that also is a very Han move, I think.
Yeah, it is.
Also, does it ever say what the band is called that's playing for him?
It's called The Band.
Oh, okay.
It's not Max Rebo's band.
Oh, man. How great would it be if it was Max Rebo? And they're still talking about the braise. I can't stress enough how much this book shoves it down your throat. The idea of braise.
Braise.
So then we get to chapter 4, a friendly game of Sabacc. Now, Matt, you and I have played several games of Sabacc, and we will discuss later on in this chapter whether or not we feel it is portrayed accurately.
Okay.
So, Zorba shows up and demands the penthouse suite, and he's like, I should own this place because my son owned it. And it's like, well, it's under new management, yada yada. So Lando makes a bet with Zorba, and he's like, alright, I've seen you play Sabacc, Zorba, you're terrible. I'll make you a bet. If we play Sabacc and you lose, you have to leave Cloud City and never come back. But if you win, you get to be governor. Sure.
Yeah.
Let's just go with this.
I mean, Lando's made really high-stake bets before.
That's true, but I feel like Lando would be smart enough to know that Zorba's just pulling a hustle, you know?
No.
Especially Lando being experienced enough at this point. Anyway, so we find out JTHW is Jabba the Hutt's will, as Matt spoiled.
My bad.
So anyway, they start to play Sabacc, and because Zorba owns the casino, thanks to Jabba's will, he gets to play with his deck of Sabacc cards, which have a certain type of ink, or like emit a certain type of light. Yeah.
Because
they emit
the
ultraviolet light
yes.
that Hutts can see. So he has the deck marked, so he knows at all times, what everyone has. That doesn't necessarily mean he would win all the time, right? Because the Sabacc shift will change things at random.
Right.
It would definitely...
It'd be an advantage because if Han or if Lando ever had the upper hand, he'd just fold.
Mm-hmm.
Be like, nope, I fold.
Yeah. But at the same time, with the luck from, first of all, just card in general... Way to make a lot of noise, Matt. Keep ripping the label off your Gatorade, please. It makes for good podcast material.
Hey, don't talk about name brands. We're not being sponsored by them.
Okay, yeah. Hey, Matt, stop ripping the label off of your insert name of generic sports drink here.
I love generic sports drink here.
So anyway,
You gave me permission.
Zorba wins, of course, and now he is the ruler of Cloud City, and Lando has to leave. So Kate falls off of the house. Everyone's just kind of goofing around on Han Solo's house. Lando explains to everyone that he lost Cloud City and now he's going to go open up a theme park. Is that what he says?
That's always been his fallback plan.
Yeah.
When he lost the Falcon, he was like, you know what?
Theme park time.
Theme park. Or no. When he lost the Falcon, it's like this midlife crisis thing. Lost the Falcon. Well, I guess I'll just start mining.
I'm gonna go to Lothal and meet a bunch of weirdos. Anyway.
Gonna go home and rethink my life.
I'm gonna go home and kill myself. So yeah, Kate falls down, and Luke pulls an Attack of the Clones and brings her a speeder down to intercept her. And they conveniently run into Trioculus's factory barge. And do they go down to attack it, or I don't remember. And I'm not going to look it up. But either way, they end up on the factory barge. And some stormtroopers kidnap Princess Leia. That's it. Do you have anything you would like to add, Matt?
Well, Trioculus was like, hey.
Well, that happens in the next chapter.
Oh, okay, so we're not going to go that far?
Well, I was asking if you had anything to say about the chapter I just spoke to us about.
No, I don't. There's nothing to really add. It's a housewarming party.
Oh, wait, no, there was one line that really cracked me up. Kate exclaimed, "But if you breathe the poison, you'll die." I thought that line was funny. Anyway. Han thinks about entering the Cloud Car Racing Finals. And we find out...
driving ages.
Yeah, we find out how old you have to be to get a license to drive a Cloud Car. It's 18 for humans, but 20 if you're an alien. Even more racism toward various aliens found within this book. Series.
Unless you're a Bith.
That's right, except for Biths. They let Biths drive at age 10 because they're advanced bipedal craniopoids who reach maturity at a young age. That's your fun fact for the day.
I don't care. They're still not welcome in my restaurant.
Pro-human?
Pro-human.
What do you think about General Hux?
Yeah.
What do you think about Admiral Akbar?
Nope.
Thank you very much for your time, sir. This has been a great interview.
Pro-human.
So Ken takes off in a cloud car, despite the fact that he's only 12. And he gets pulled over by the cops. This is real. I swear I'm not making this up.
I can relate to this kid more and more.
Because he gets arrested immediately. This happens in like one page too. He takes off in the cloud car and then gets immediately arrested. So Leia is brought before Trioculus. And Trioculus is madly in love with Princess Leia because he saw her one time.
That's how it works. All you need is one look.
And Leia delivers quite a slap to his face.
Mm-hmm. Like she full on gets like...
That is a nice palm strike right there.
She even has like the twist to go with it. It's
it's at a weird angle.
If she had a bat, he would be dead. She'll fall in love with it. It's like, no, dude, this is even creepier. He's like, hey, this is your dad's claw.
The one who blew up your home planet.
He's like, oh wait, it's just a replica, but still.
Oh yeah. Let's
talk about how great your dad was.
He's now wearing a replica of the glove of Darth Vader.
And then he like slowly whispers in her ear, "I could be your dad."
So anyway, we get to Chapter 7, the battle for Princess Leia, and Zorba is paying Tibor for information, and he's paying him in gemstones. He doesn't say what kind of stones, how much
it's
they're
just
worth.
and he's always been paying in gemstones. He was getting gemstones for credits to bet and stuff.
Which that's an interesting, but not I don't feel an acceptable form of currency. But we've talked about this not on podcast before. We've talked about this specifically, like after Solo. We were like, how do you keep track of how much stuff is worth when people are betting all these weird objects in different forms of
different
currency?
Yeah, like weird like bundles of root.
Or if someone's like, here's a Mandalorian coin. Well, how does that convert to Imperial credits? Like,
yeah,
and what if credits are no good out there? Do you have to agree before the game of Sabacc what each thing is worth and what's acceptable? Because what if one person at the table doesn't want a certain...
I'm going to go on a big assumption here and say that since there's so many droids, the droids can do a quick market analysis.
That's fair. But you have to get like casino droids to do that, because otherwise, like, if it's just like a personal droid does it might be biased or scam you out of it.
Right. So they would have to have like some sort of official thing, and yeah.
So then Zorba finds out they've arrested a boy named Ken, and he's like, hey, that's the one that...
Kenobi!
Yeah.
What do you know?
So that's the one that Hissa and Trioculus wants. And so he decides, I can trade Trioculus for Princess Leia with Ken. But he has to know that he's, the Jedi Prince Ken and not just some rando named Ken. So Zorba brings him up and gives him some sweets that may or may not be drugged.
It's like, hey kid, you want some candy?
Literally. And
Tell me about yourself.
It's got, he gives him sticky sweet mallow, which, boy howdy, that sounds like innuendo if ever there was it.
Hey,
and it's got,
Ken, you want some sticky mallow?
It's got avabush spice, which is a powerful truth serum. Ken spills his guts, and Zorba finds out that, he's the Jedi Prince.
Whatever that means.
Yeah. And so Zorba locks him up. And they contact Trioculus, and Trioculus goes up to meet him. He's like, hey, congrats on being governor. And they try and work out a deal. And, first Trioculus goes to confirm his identity. And, Ken tries a Jedi mind trick. Because apparently he's Force sensitive now. It's never come up before this, but yeah, apparently he's Force sensitive.
Well, if he was a Jedi Prince, I would hope that he would be Force sensitive.
We don't know what a Jedi Prince is!
Nope.
So...
no, it's Ken for Anakin.
Boy howdy.
Yo, that's what it is. That's what it is. He was the chosen one.
I'll say this much. By the next book, if you don't know who Ken's parents are, you're an idiot. It's really obvious.
Okay.
They hint at it very hard in the next book. So...
Am I going to be angry?
I think you'll just be... You might be angry after reading Mission from Mount Yoda because that book's just so bad. But I feel like you're just going to be disappointed. You're just going to be like, oh. So, also it said that Hutts know a lot about human psychology, or human child psychology, which is weird.
They're just space pedos.
The worst kind of pedos. Yeah. Okay, yeah. So he refuses to talk to Trioculus at first. And then Ken's like, man, I sure am hungry. And Tibor's like, maybe you'd like another bun. And he eats it. He eats it again. He has brain damage, I swear. So then Trioculus is like, alright, he is the real Jedi Prince. What do you want from him, Zorba? And he's like, alright, first of all, move your factory barge, because your braze is killing me and my business. And Trioculus literally says, little braze never hurt anyone. He's so evil, I love it. And then, because Trioculus is like, I love Leia, she will be my queen of the Empire, he refuses to give her up. And a big shootout ensues, and Trioculus ends up losing the bout. The Cloud City Guards defeat all the stormtroopers. And so Zorba has Trioculus frozen in carbonite and hung up in the Cloud City Museum.
Which is funny because it's kind of like Jabba. But
Yeah. Also, Cloud City apparently has a museum. I don't know.
Isn't that where they kept the frozen body of Jar Jar?
In the Force Unleashed game?
Yes.
I don't remember where specifically you went on Bespin in the Force Unleashed because it's been a while, so I can't say for sure. No comment. So this time, Ken becomes a Mary Sue and mind tricks. Who does he mind trick? Just a guard into letting him out? And then he mind tricks a taxi driver into thinking he paid for his taxi ride.
See, that's what I'd do if I was a Jedi. I'd just straight up use my powers for evil. I guess I'd be a Sith. But, like, not, like, bad things. Like, just get free rides.
You could just
free
be
food.
a dark Jedi.
I wouldn't kill anyone.
Or, like, a mildly dim Jedi.
I'd just be like, yeah, just...
I'm not that dark. I don't want to pay for my pizza.
I have a setting. I have, like, a light dimmer. I'm a mood Jedi.
So yeah, then they escape the barge and they free Princess Leia. And so once again, I must ask, what did the heroes do in this entire book? Because it seems like
they had a housewarming party.
Because the villains, once again, are the only people doing anything proactive.
The heroes had a housewarming party.
This book is hilarious.
Oh, and Han is also thinking about marrying Princess Leia.
Oh yeah,
that's a big thing. Big steps.
Now that he's got a sky house for them to live in.
No, because he was thinking about not...
No, yeah.
Yeah, because he's like, yeah, I can... So what was the point of having a sky house then if he was just going to give it all up?
What was the point of any of this?
There was no point.
This book was hilarious. Matt, do you recommend reading Zorba the Hutt's Revenge?
For a laugh, yeah.
I 100% recommend it. This was so far my favorite of the Jedi Prince books. So far... My ranking is Zorba the Hutt's Revenge, Glove of Darth Vader, Last City of the Jedi. Or Lost City of the Jedi. Last City of the Jedi would be a better name.
To me, Ken just doesn't do anything, so...
Because he's clearly just an audience surrogate for the intended child readers.
Just, yeah,
as we grown men read this.
Yeah. See, I identify more with Zorba than anyone else.
Is your son dead?
Yes.
And you have acquired his properties?
Uh-huh.
And you also cheat at Sabak?
Only once. And it didn't work.
So I identify the most with Trioculus because I'm also incompetent and want a replica glove of Darth Vader.
Were you ever frozen in carbonite? Are you in love with Princess Leia?
Maybe. So, now that we've got our discussion of Zorba the Hutt's Revenge out of the way, we can move on to another skit. This time, it's going to be Gordon Ramsay going to Camino to try out clone rations. So, I will be portraying Gordon Ramsay, and Matt, I don't know, you can be a Kaminoan or a clone chef. I'll leave that up to you.
Okay, so first I'm going to be a Kaminoan, kind of guiding him where he could get his rations.
Okay. He's like, all right, I'm Gordon. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you as well.
So, what's on the menu exactly? What would you recommend?
Well, we have a very nice, nutrient-rich banquet prepared for you. If you just follow me to 0113, the mess hall for our troops, and we will gladly serve you a nice, delicious meal.
0113. Who came up with the name for that exactly?
It was us. Systematically, we are able to keep up with the clones and room numbers that way.
Systematically, okay. All right. That's the atmosphere we're going for. All right, sure. Let's go with it.
There's your doors, by the way.
Why did the doors shut in front of us? We didn't enter.
I believe we're having trouble with maintenance today.
Okay, let me just rip the doors open.
Wow, you are very strong for a human your size.
It's my.
We ought to clone you.
You hear Django from the distance preparing his blasters.
Just. You didn't kill Sith.
He didn't. Well, he didn't. Django didn't kill Sith. He killed many Jedi and a Dark Jedi. But anyway, so all right, I'll take a seat here in this table by myself. It's very crowded in here.
Oh, hi! I didn't see you there. Welcome to the mess hall. What can I do for you?
Well, I was informed that there was some sort of banquet or something, or some wet assortment. Just give me one of everything.
One of everything, so one the same, right?
Is that a clone joke? I'm sorry, I don't get it.
Boys, he doesn't get it. They all laugh at the same time.
Oh, okay.
So he hands you just like this like white bowl of gray material.
And what is this exactly?
That's anything you want it to be. That's your dinner, that's your soup, that's your steak. It's whatever you want it to be.
So, I'm sorry. What? I'm still very confused. What exactly is in this?
Okay, let me level with you. It's a little bit of nutrient-rich milk.
Nutrient-rich milk. Got it.
Yes, mostly that. And then it's also comprised of different herbal traces.
Alright, I suppose I'll give it a try. It's bland, very bland. Very dry. Is this what you serve all of your fellow clones?
Yes, all my brothers love it.
And have they ever eaten any other food? Because that's the only circumstances under which someone could love something like this. I had better food when I went to Jakku. That junkyard.
Wait, there's other food?
Yes. Do you think I'm a food critic who's only eaten this and was questioning you about it?
I've never left Camino.
Kaminoan shoots you on shot sight for knowing too much.
Another chef comes by. What can I do for you?
I'm leaving. This place sucks. End scene.
Hold on. Before he leaves, you see another clone. Can I come with?
Also gets shot on sight.
By Django.
With a rocket.
And as they're leaving, Gordon Ramsay rubs his neck as he's walking away. A Kaminoan has a syringe full of his blood, taking it to the cloning center.
And scene. Oh man! So now, Matt, we've got another new skit segment.
Yay!
Because we thought this would be funny.
Okay. What is this new skit segment?
We don't have a name for it. We don't have a name for any of our skit segments. We should probably come up with those, but now is neither the time.
Well, I thought Where in the Galaxy is Gordon Ramsay was one of them.
Sure, we'll go with that.
Yay! I named something. I contributed to this podcast.
So now we'll do Hanson versus Star Wars character. That name.
That's right. We're doing this one. Okay, cool.
This one's a bit of a work in progress in terms of names, but we'll just keep in mind that this skit is meant to be very irreverent and not to be taken too seriously, as we will likely draw the name of a Star Wars character and the implication of which being that they are a pedophile. So just keep in mind this is not to be taken too seriously.
We're not targeting any specific people, persons, or actors.
We're not ruining your childhood or your Luke Skywalker. Leave that to Ryan Johnson. I'm kidding. So
I had a compelling thing to someone. They were talking about how Luke Skywalker was the Mary Sue of Star Wars.
That's funny.
Mm-hmm.
I don't agree with that per se, but
same person also hates Rey. So.
Okay. So Matt, why don't you draw a name from the hat, and you will portray that character, and I will portray Chris Hansen and the decoy. So, Matt, which character is a pedophile?
Salacious Crumb!
Okay. Well, I don't know why you threw the name back in. We should take it out.
Oh, okay. Way to go. Salacious Crumb. There it is.
Okay. So you'll be Salacious Crumb.
Yeah.
I guess this will be just any town on Tatooine. Let's say this takes place in Mos Espa.
Okay.
So you approach the door. Come on in. Why don't you take a seat? I'll be right down in a few minutes.
Good.
So what can I help you with tonight? You look a little nervous there, buddy. So, what's happening?
Sex.
Oh, with who exactly?
Minor.
Oh, so you're aware? You know that's illegal, right? Oh, so you think this is all one big joke?
Yeah. Sex.
Well, I gotta tell you, this is nothing to joke about. You know it's against the law, right? And you still think this is all funny? Well, if you're not going to talk with me, I suppose there's one last thing for me to tell you. I'm Chris Hansen with HoloNet Dateline NBC. We're doing a story on predators who try and meet underage girls over the HoloNet. Now, if there's anything else you'd like to tell us, you can. Otherwise, you can walk right out that door and leave.
I have wood now.
I'm sorry, sir. I can't let you do that. Help! Security!
I don't know how to do a Salacious Crumb.
I think you did the best anyone could ask of you.
I just know he's a creepy little
Walking
monkey lizard. They don't say much.
They don't. I think there's like a giant one, Resistance or something. I don't know. I haven't caught up on Resistance. Anyway, Matt. Now let's move into our final segment of the podcast.
Okay.
Which is discussion topics, again, but smaller ones that wouldn't constitute a whole episode.
Okay.
And we don't know what the other person's minor discussion topic is. Matt, why don't you go first?
That's because you don't have one, do you?
No, I do.
Because I don't.
Okay, you want me to go first?
Yeah,
then?
you go first.
Okay. So here's a question. So we've got a lot of stuff going on in the unknown regions right now in Star Wars. We know that's where the First Order was sort of formed.
Mm-hmm.
We know that Palpatine felt like a dark side calling there that was supposedly Snoke. Got a lot of stuff going on with the Chiss and the Chiss Ascendancy, as well as planets like Batuu. So what I'm basically asking is, do you have any predictions for where the Star Wars story is going in the future regarding the unknown regions? Do you think maybe that's where Snoke's from? Do you think
Yuuzhan Vong War?
You think we're gonna make the Yuuzhan Vong canon again?
Maybe. I don't know. Probably not in this upcoming Star Wars film, but maybe.
Just like in general, like in future books or comics or.
Yeah. I have a feeling, because there's a huge fan base for them.
I mean, it was a large book series. It was, what, like 19 books or something like that?
Something like that, yeah. And, I mean, they were pretty much the biggest threat to the Star Wars galaxy, besides...
Of that era.
Yeah, besides giant death machines, which they always kind of do.
Which, even the Yuuzhan Vong had their own giant death machine.
Right.
The world ship, or whatever it was.
But just them being, like, able to... since they weren't affected by the Force, that was...
But that was going to be the thing I bring up. Do you think that's... If they do bring the Yuuzhan Vong in, are they going to keep that aspect of them?
I mean, that was like their main thing that made them scary, because they were able to...
Yeah, but I don't know. Now, I haven't read the New Jedi Order series, so I don't know... I don't have like first-hand experience with the Yuuzhan Vong. Everything I've learned about them is second-hand, but... I don't know. To me, that doesn't sound too interesting.
Mm-hmm. See, I'm wondering where they're going to take it with this new Mando series that's coming up.
Yeah, with The Mandalorian. Because it's presumably going to be at the very least, in the Outer Rim. Did you see the cast list that came out for that?
I did not.
Carl Weathers is going to be in it.
Carl Weathers.
Pedro Pascal's the lead. Werner Herzog's in it. Nick Nolte. Anyway.
Ian McGregor.
I wish.
Hello there, Mandalorian.
Do you think anything's going on with the Chiss per se, aside from what Thrawn's got going on?
I don't know. I don't know too much about the Chiss because I know Thrawn's there to study the Empire to make sure they're strong enough to protect them or to be able to use them. But I don't know what the Chiss have in mind right now. Like,
I'm gonna make a weird prediction.
Okay.
Regarding, because we know the First Order is there.
Mm-hmm.
I think the First Order has attacked to some extent the Chiss ascendancy, and I think the Chiss are. They're certainly like hurt by the attack, and I feel like
they're gonna join the Resistance.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking, and maybe eventually even ally themselves with the New Republic.
That'd be kind of cool.
Or the New Republic, I suppose.
So, do you think we'll see that in Resistance?
Possibly.
Think we're gonna see Thrawn return?
I don't know. That's my big thing is I don't know when and where Thrawn's gonna return.
What about Ezra?
Well, presumably they'd return together.
Like as a couple?
No, just just as a pair,
As
opposed to some other fruit. So, I guess they would probably come back in either Resistance or their own book or comic or whatever. Anyway, that's basically all I got to say. Is I have a feeling the Chiss Ascendancy and the First Order are going to come into conflict. So, Matt, what do you think? You got any more thoughts on that, or shall we move on to your discussion topic? Did I stall long enough?
You did stall long enough.
Okay.
So, how come...
You are stalling.
How come, like, the droid army is just completely a shutdown topic now? Like, because obviously the Empire had better droids and better droid technology with the evidence of K2SO.
What do you mean? Why did they just stop using droids?
Well, why doesn't the First Order like incorporate droids, like a droid and human army?
I imagine that has to go in with the human supremacist ideal that the First Order has, and
because I mean they play around with the idea of a clone army.
That's something Kylo Ren plays around with. And I feel like that's Kylo Ren, looking on the past as something to be revered at that point, in his life. I don't think Snoke or Hux or any of them ever really considered it. And we know from Phasma that Cardinal saw, the repurposing of the children as, giving them a better life and giving them a purpose and something to do. Instead of wasting away on...
So instead of creating soldiers just for the purpose of being soldiers, they're thinking they're rescuing children from a life of nothing kind of thing.
That's what Cardinal thinks.
But again, that doesn't answer my question with droids, though, because I think the best way to do things, because if you look at our military and stuff, how we use drones, I mean, and it keeps us from actually going in the front lines and risking our lives doing things. Like, why don't they do that with droids?
I assume probably because...
Were they worried about their image?
I assume because, the Stormtrooper Corps of the First Order is presumably there not just for, ground forces missions, but after the New Republic has been destroyed to move in and seize control. I feel like droids may not be as well equipped for that.
That's why
that makes sense.
Yeah, but you have humans with the droids, have human overseers.
I suppose, but
every person gets 5 droids to their.
I feel like that may be difficult to manufacture because I'm sure the First Order has a hard enough time building ships and Starkiller Base and all their other weaponry.
If they were able to build Starkiller Base, without anyone blinking an eye, you know?
That's in the unknown regions. No one knows where that is.
And you're saying droid factories, little tiny factories, are easier or not as easy to hide as a giant planet?
I'm not saying it's not as hard to find. I'm just saying resource-wise.
Did you see Starkiller Base?
But but doesn't that go more with First Order Imperial ideology that why have a bunch of small things? We can have a big thing.
I guess, but that's their downfall.
Oh no, absolutely. That's the Emperor's biggest downfall is he really likes big guns. But again, I think it mostly has to do with the human supremacist ideal of the First Order that they can do this, themselves. They don't need no stinking machines. And I guess that also just...
Do you think if the Jedi known about the relationship between Anakin and Padme, that Anakin would have never turned to the dark side?
Boy, howdy, that's random and out of nowhere.
But it's another discussion concept.
No, yeah, let's talk about that, I guess.
Because if they knew the entire time, then why keep it secret? Why seek... because... Either he gets expelled from the...
So are you assuming that they are accepting of it? Because that's what I would...
Yeah, because if they're accepting of it, then he would have people to talk to about it. But if they weren't accepting, then he'd just lose his place.
Yeah, that's really what it all boils down to, is would they accept it or not? Because if they did accept it...
Then he probably would have never joined the dark side.
Possibly.
All of his fears he could have went to counseling for with Yoda.
Well, he already did that.
Yeah, but he was very secretive about it because he was like, it's someone I care for. He didn't tell him the extent of it.
That's true, but if the visions of Padme dying persisted, then he may still have turned to Palpatine. Now, I don't think Anakin would have gone as far. I don't think he would have killed all the Jedi and all that.
Because he'd be more trusting.
Right. He may have killed Mace because, it's not the Jedi way and all that.
Right.
Or he didn't even kill Mace. He just cut off his hand.
Yeah. Palps did the rest.
I think it's entirely possible he would have still turned to Palpatine. But that's mostly because of his fear of his premonitions coming reality. And then obviously, if the Jedi didn't accept him and... I guess, banished him from the Order or whatever, then that probably would have gotten out as a big scandal. Padme would have lost her privileges as a senator, and the two probably would have just gone off together.
That probably would have been the best route for him, too.
Yeah, probably.
Because, that's what he planned on doing anyway. He was like, let's just run away. She's like, no.
Well, no, that was Padme's idea, wasn't it? In Revenge of the Sith, when she's like, we can go set up the baby's room. And it's just like, well, what are you going to do about your senator position? Anyway. Is there anything else you had to bring up, Matt?
I think I'm good for now.
Okie doke. Hey, did you enjoy this podcast? Why don't you listen to some other ones we got? You can find us on our YouTube channel. We've got we're available on iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, all these other places. If you want to follow us on Twitter, you can follow us at Local First Order. Let's see, am I forgetting to plug anything? Is that it?
I don't know. You're in charge of our social media outlets.
I guess that's it. Hey, why don't you remember to support your local First Order? Down with you, resistance scum. Many Bothans died to bring you this podcast.
Good, pro-human.
And all remaining systems will bow.
To the First Order! You like that? I like that.
And we'll remember this as the last day
of the Republic.